Hey guys, Richard here. So in this video I want to show you how to find good products on WarriorPlus. Now clearly this is subjective. This is obviously my opinion on what good products are. So whether you are wanting to promote products or you want to look for the types of things that you need to know before you go ahead and buy products, this is going to be a really good video for you. And I'm actually going to leave you a really nice resource that you can use to determine whether products are going to be good for you or your business. So that's going to be left for you. I'm actually going to show you exactly how I come to my conclusions. If you go over to my YouTube channel, you'll see that I do a lot of product reviews. And a lot of the stuff on WarriorPlus I'm not the biggest fan of, because a lot of it is just silly little strategies that quite honestly just do not work. They just sound to somebody who doesn't understand how to make money online like they should be able to give you fast cash with no real effort. But the reality is, as I'm going to show you, a lot of these products are really kind of worthless. So I'm going to talk you through how I actually come to those conclusions. And then, as I said, I'm going to leave you that resource for you to go ahead and do the same yourself. And just before we start, guys, don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell, and I'll let you know whenever I release videos. And if you do find this video valuable, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And the idea of this channel is that I reach more people so that they really understand the kind of things to look out for when you're trying to find ways to earn money online. So just before we jump into WarriorPlus, I want to show you the resource that I use to determine whether something is worth either buying or actually promoting on WarriorPlus. Now I do a lot of reviews, so I know that kind of 90% of the stuff on WarriorPlus isn't really worth promoting or buying, unfortunately. Now I'm going to show you how I determine that by using a very simple checklist. Now you'll find this checklist if you go ahead and look at the link in the description below over to the School of Nomads. You could be brought over to this actual site, which is the 12-step action plan. Now this 12-step action plan is completely for free, and if you go into the getting started section, this checklist is part of the getting started section. So here is the checklist that I use whenever I decide whether I want to either purchase a product or actually go ahead and review a product. Now I review more products than I purchase these days because I know a lot of the products out there aren't very good. But I want to kind of take you through this checklist because you will be able to use this as well to start making more informed decisions before you go ahead and buy any types of products or services online from these types of networks. Now the same thing works for JVZoo or ClickBank or any of these types of networks that mainly sell kind of digital products that are aimed at the make money online niche. Now it works in other kind of niches, but the make money online one is kind of the worst culprit for a lot of the things that I'm going to show you during this video. Now the idea is I would go through this checklist, and if I tick off more than 5 things on this checklist, then maybe I'm going to move on and not buy that product. It's as simple as that, or even promote that product. Now the idea is that I would go through this checklist, and if I ticked off more than 5 things on the checklist, then I wouldn't actually either buy or promote that product. Now I'm going to show you this in a little bit more detail, but just at a very high level, you've got 2 sides to it. You've got a shiny detector checklist, which is those elements of the actual sales page and the product itself that you want to be looking at and thinking, is this valuable to me or not? And you've also got the common sense factors, are those overall things you want to be thinking about before you purchase any kind of product or service. So there's lots of things in the shiny detector list, like screenshots of profits, selling a lifestyle, fake countdown timers. I'm going to go through these in a little bit more detail on an actual sales page. But this is the actual checklist that we're going to use primarily to go through some products that are currently on WarriorPlus. So here I am over on WarriorPlus. Now WarriorPlus is just a marketplace that brings vendors and affiliates and people who want to buy products together. Now WarriorPlus is doing absolutely nothing wrong as I go through this video. All they're doing is providing the platform that all of these folks can actually use, right? Now, as I also go through the video, I am going to kind of point out certain vendors. Now, those vendors inherently aren't doing anything wrong either. They're selling products to people that want to buy them, right? Now, the fact they might promise you that you're going to make a kind of $100,000 in a year and do virtually nothing, it's done for you, it's all very quick. The fact they promise all of that to you is the reason I want to do this video in the first place, to explain the kind of things that actually you need to look out for so that you don't go ahead and purchase these types of products off these folks. There is no get rich quick type way to make money online. There is no secret software. There is no secret traffic source. None of that stuff exists, right? But the way that they lay out the sales pages will have you believing very quickly that you're going to be rich almost instantly when you buy that product. Now, this is where your common sense kind of completely leaves your mind and you start looking at the sales page and thinking, I'm going to get this, I'm going to make money straight away. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people would never make a penny from any of these products. But the caveat is they're not doing anything legally wrong, these vendors, right? They're serving a market with kind of very cheap second-hand type material, right? That's put together in a nice packaging. That's all they're doing. So let's jump into WarriorPlus itself. And again, I'll leave a couple of videos down here so you can get more details. And I'm going to show you a couple of products and I'm going to reference those products with our checklist and tell you exactly what I'm trying to show you. So I'm inside WarriorPlus. Now guys, the title of the video is how to find good WarriorPlus products. And I'm going to show you how to find kind of products that are maybe not so good. And I'm also going to give you a good example of maybe some products that are worth your time to actually purchase or to actually promote. So if we come down here, this is the main things that are being sold at the moment. And I'm going to go take one or two of these as an example of maybe things that aren't so good. So let me actually show you the different way to look at this. I want to go and have a look at the offers here because it gives me a little bit more data around these particular products that I can share with you. So here's the main offers. Now if you come down here, you'll see there's certain stats on here. So what you have here is the actual product itself. If I clicked on this, I would go over to the product page. Here is the vendor. So this is one way that you can actually figure out whether a product is any good, is just by looking at the vendor here and go ahead and look at their reviews. And then also you can go ahead and look at the product here. So just an overall look if you think you're going to actually find something you're going to promote on here. Here's the release date of products. Here's the sales number. Here's the actual conversion rate. Here are these visitor values. So you expect to get around $3 a visitor. The average share is around $30 and the refund rate is 1%. And this is a kind of a pulse score that WarriorPlus give it. And the longer the product's being sold for, the higher that pulse score will actually be. So you can come down here and you can start looking at whether things are actually going to be worth your while. But a lot of these products, people just buy them because they're worth $10, $15 on the front end. And you tend to get quite high refund rates once they start getting established, right? So if I look at this one here, now the Set and Forget has sold 7,500 copies and it's by a guy called Brendan Mace. Now, if I just look at Brendan just for a start from a vendor point of view, you can see that he releases a lot of different products and they're always about kind of less than $10, $15. That one's 18, but most of them around $10, $15 on the front end. And what you can tell here is there will be some reviews for a lot of these products. There'll be 3s, there'll be 2s. It's very subjective on here about the reviews, but it is a good way that you can tell whether they're actually getting some good feedback on the product. So I think the one I'll have a look at is this one page profit, and it's had 1 and a bit stars, and I want to figure out based on my checklist whether this is something that I think should be worth your time. So let's go ahead and look at one page profit. So if I just come over here, I can actually click on this here and it'll take me over to the sales page and we can start looking at this sales page. Now you see, as soon as I come over to one page profits, the headlines are emotionally driven and the idea is that everything is going to be automated. They're going to promise you $300 a day commissions for free traffic. So everything's going to be free and you're going to get $300 for it. It's going to be passive, all-inclusive solution, recession-proof, a business that's growing at double-digit rates. All of this stuff that you as a purchaser are going to be after if you're desperate for money or you're looking for something to be really easy for you to make money with online. So that's the first thing that kind of a normal person would come along here and start looking at and be immediately sucked into. That's the idea of the sales page. And again, these sales pages are there to do a job, and that's selling. But what we want to do is kind of pull this apart a little bit and figure out, is this something that I want to either purchase or promote? Now, if you're looking for things to promote on WarriorPlus, it's completely up to you. It's your business. But I would only ever want to promote things that are going to be valuable to people, not just to go ahead and make money, right? So let's figure out if this is something that I would want to promote. So let's go ahead and look through the actual checklist and do it line by line and figure out whether I'm going to actually promote this. So has it got screenshots of profit? So what I'm looking for is, does the sales page show screenshots of profit which do not appear to be backed up with any real reason or purpose other than to hype up the product? So you'll know already that yes, they do. Obviously these products do have screenshots of profit, but one thing I always look out for is when I look through those screenshots, which the first one is here, is this is obviously proof of one-page profits, and the campaigns is obviously proof that they actually work. This is a JVZoo graphic. This is what they're telling me I'm going to earn by using one-page profits. Now, one little thing I always do is I go onto something called Munchai and I look at previous products that the vendor has actually released, and I look at those sales pages. Now, this is because I'm a reviewer, but you could also do it if you're actually a purchaser. So all you need to go on Munchai, search up the vendor's name, in this case Brendan Mace, and look at their previous sales pages and have a look at the kind of information they've got on their sales pages. So one of their sales pages is something called UGen Bots, and this took me around about 5 minutes to find. And I go ahead and look at UGen Bots, and this UGen Bots, they have exactly the same graphic on there as well as there. So straight away that's alarm bells, because I can now not trust anything else that's written on this page because I don't know where that financial proof is coming from. So in that case, obviously I'm going to just go ahead and tick this and say yes, it's just got some profits that don't come from anywhere. Are they selling a lifestyle or dream instead of a service or tool? Well, in this case, because they're talking about passive income and done for you income, they are selling a lifestyle. That means that you don't need to do anything and don't need to do any work before you go ahead and purchase this product. So this isn't actually a service in any way. This is actually a strategy that you can use to go ahead and make money. So I would obviously come along here and actually add this as well. Fake countdown timers that don't work. So countdown timers are fair enough on a lot of these products because it's part of marketing and you add a bit of scarcity, but you've got to be honest with your countdown timers. And if this is at 0 hours now, I'll just come along here and I refresh this page, and you can see on the page it's just gone back to 12 minutes. So that countdown timer doesn't actually mean anything. And I'm going to show you an example of a product in a second where the countdown timer is actually there for a reason and it's a real countdown. So again, you know, a lot of these things are kind of subjective because countdown timers are there for marketing reasons. So again, I'm going to tick that one. Next up is anything promising me guaranteed rewards. So is it saying passive, autopilot, traffic, sales, followers, leads? You got to check the wording very carefully. So if any of this stuff is actually guaranteeing me stuff, so it's automated big ticket commissions like clockwork, multiple income streams, passive paydays, these mini cash machines sell for you 24/7 with zero maintenance, all-inclusive solutions with no monthly costs, recession-proof, double-digit growth. So that's definitely guaranteeing me all sorts of guaranteed rewards. Again, you can come in here and tick this. Unrealistic claims of origin. So does the product or service claim to be first of its kind or never seen before? Let's go back to one-page profits. It's the world's fastest and easiest breakthrough for automated $300 free traffic. So again, although that's not actually first of its kind, it's still telling me it's the fastest and easiest. Luxury items. Is the vendor using any luxury items to distract you, such as cars or women? I'm going to show you a great example of that in a second. Check testimonials as previous products. So if you look at the testimonials on any kind of products as well, if you have testimonials on here, do the same thing on Munchai. Look at previous sales pages and you'll see those testimonials are cropping up on each of the sales pages. So again, they don't make any sense if there's no testimonials. Check the proof for screenshots. So if you go to Google and search for previous products by vendor, search for terms like vendor, Munchai, vendor products, check their proof of income or whatever results they claim to have gotten, as they are the same with every product. So again, we found one of them. Next thing, we want to check if the product launch history to see if they're a serial launcher. So all you need to do is come along to Munchai, you type in the actual name and Munchite in Google, come along to the actual vendor name here, click on the vendor name, and then you will see if that particular vendor launches products every single month. And you'll see that in this case, it may be even twice a month that this vendor launches products, and you'll easily be able to see each one of these details of the products. Just click on the actual product itself you want to look at. You come over to this page, and you can either go over to the JV doc here or click on sales page, and then once you go to the bottom of this section, you'll be able to see the sales page. So that's how you actually go ahead and see the old sales pages of these particular vendors' products, and you can start to get a sense of what type of sales proof or testimonials or all of those types of elements that they're just transferring from one product to the next, right? Now, you become an expert in this very, very quickly and understand what's going on, but if you're a complete beginner, you would be very, very easily sucked in by this type of information, right? So again, there's UGen bots, and I can go through this and look at those various pieces of graphics that they add to every single sales page. So the RSEO launcher, and then you look for legal pages. So you want to be looking for the pages at the bottom of a product that are the legal pages or the disclaimers. And you want to make sure that they at least have them on the bottom of their products. It makes it obviously compliant to the rules. So on the bottom of this website, One Page Profits, I can't see anywhere on here where there's any kind of legal pages or disclaimers. So there really should be, and on a lot of these products there would be. Now if I look at UGen bots, there is actually pages on the bottom of this one, the audience disclaimer, the terms of service and the privacy policy, that I'm not seeing on One Page Profits. So again, that would give me alarm bells because there's no kind of information on this one. So that particular product so far, without even going through the common sense factors, has failed the test miserably so far. So this is something that I definitely would not be promoting to anybody else or purchasing myself. Next up, we have the common sense factors. Now, these sound very, very simple, but if you've ever bought something off this vendor before and you haven't been satisfied, then do not promote or buy something again, because it's not going to change just because the sales page has got better. It's just not. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about finding good products. Have your previous relationships and products with that vendor being good. You can go through Google and YouTube and check for reviews. Many people will do good reviews just to get, the commissions and the bonuses. Look for some of the ones that maybe don't give things good reviews and figure out why they're actually doing that and whether they're being genuine. And again, if you look at my channel, look at the history of my channel and figure out, am I doing a kind of collection of good and bad reviews, or am I always doing bad reviews? Now, unfortunately, WarriorPlus, a lot of them aren't so good, but if you look at the channel overall, there is a lot of good reviews in there for products that I actually think are going to bring you value, right? So check them out and check other people's channels out and figure out what they're actually doing. Now, the next one is difficult for beginners to understand. Now, there's a reason why a lot of services out there have monthly fees. If you've got an autoresponder, for instance, I use GetResponse, the reason they're monthly fees is because there's a lot of maintenance required for those autoresponders. And there's a lot of people involved in doing that. You have developers, you have engineers in the background that are constantly doing all sorts of different tweaks to that particular software. Now, a lot of these platforms are one-time fee platforms for software, whether it's hosting providers or email responders or video hosts or webinar software, that sound really good because they're a lot cheaper than the actual monthly ones. But the reality is they're not going to get maintained in the long term. A lot of them either disappear or start having glitches. Now, you get glitches in the well-established ones, right? And they're being maintained. Now, for these, a lot of these ones are just going to crash very, very quickly. So be very wary when you're being sold a one-off fee for an actual service like a webinar service or video hosting service. Just be wary that you want to make sure they're being maintained regularly. Next up is don't justify the price. Now, the reason we say this is because a lot of the stuff that you'll buy is anything from $10 to $20 on the front end, right? Unless you get sucked into all the OTOs. Now, if you do purchase that and you figure out that it's not good for you, it's not going to hurt you financially if you're in kind of one of the more developed countries. Now, you justify that by saying, it's only $20, it doesn't really matter. But a lot of it is to do with your time and you'll spend a lot of time on these types of products trying to make them work and then moving on to the next one, and that money doesn't half build up, right? So yes, they are cheap. Yes, they're not going to really affect you financially if you kind of lose that money, but don't justify just spending a lot of your time on some of this maybe not so good products online just because they're only 15 to 20 bucks. And then also think to yourself, common sense wise, how can a $15 investment turn into $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month product? If it did, then why would anybody ever sell you that strategy? They can sell that for $15, but they can actually make with themselves thousands and thousands of dollars using the same strategy without ever having any of the need to build sales pages or any of this stuff. So just think about it when you're buying these products. How can $15 investment turn into $1,000 a month business? It's not realistic. And lastly, again, common sense, guys, take these sales pages with a pinch of salt. Let me just show you a second sales page with another product that's sold on WarriorPlus. So this is something called a Matic, and this is by Billy Darr, and Billy Darr is a serial launcher. Billy Darr uses all of the same tricks as Brendan Mace. He uses financial results that aren't true. He uses the same graphics in every single sales page, and it's all the same thing. It's autopilot. It's, you know, done for you. It's created for newbies. 0 tech skills needed. 3-figure paydays. All of this stuff for about 17 bucks. And then we have all of this emotionally driven lifestyle type graphics in there as well. So again, this is another culprit and something that I would never dream of buying or actually promoting. This is something that you want to avoid if you want to build a long-term business on the internet actually promoting products. If you want to do this, you might be able to sell a few of these in the short term, but the reality is long term you're not going to be able to build a long-term sustainable business, because people will very quickly find you out and understand that a lot of the products they're buying off you just aren't giving them any value. So I hope you can see how useful this actual checklist is to determine whether something is good or bad. And again, a lot of this stuff is very subjective, and it depends what your business model is. You might want to be quite happy to actually promote all of these types of products that I'm not so happy doing. That's completely up to you. It's your business. Let's go ahead and look at something that I think is maybe good to promote. And again, I'm not going to promote this product myself because I'm going to move on to other products that I'm actually promoting. But I want to show you, using the same checklist, maybe something that isn't so shiny and it's got less kind of financial claims and is more of just a service that people can get, right? So I'm going to come along and I'm just going to reset this, and we're actually going to do this on a different type of example. So just turn back over to WarriorPlus. So this one caught my eye, Speedio. Now I know this is a one of those AI speech softwares. If I come through here, it's got a 7% conversion rate, $2.72 per click. The average sales $36, 9% refund rate, which is a little bit high, but it's $29. The actual pulse rate is 29. And let's have a look at how it compares on my actual checklist. So if I just have a quick look at the actual vendor of Speedio, I want to see how many products they've sold. So it's Andrew Darius. He's got 3,700 sales, so obviously a lot smaller than the last vendor we were looking at. Got just over 3.5 stars. And again, this Speedio, if you look at the rating, it's just over 4 stars. So it looks pretty good as far as the reviews are going. It's only 8 reviews, but you know, it looks pretty good. Let's go back and have a look at the actual sales page itself. So here's the sales page, and the first thing you'll notice is it's kind of less hypey than the last one. Now this is more of a service that's being sold and less than kind of a strategy overall. So this is just a basic AI voice service where you obviously can add text and it will change it into various voices for you. And there's various other products on the market like Speechello that actually go ahead and do this. So this is their version of that, and a lot of it is just matter of fact. Whenever you look at these types of pages, they just tell you about the actual service itself, and they are less hypey than you tend to find with a lot of the other kind of Brendan Mace, Billy Darr, Mosh Barry type products. So if you come along here and you have a look at your checklist again, screenshots of proof, can't really find any screenshots of proof on here. Selling a lifestyle, you just go through the whole page. Again, they're always very practical pages that explain to you how the product works rather than actually trying to sell you some kind of lifestyle. There's no fake countdown timers on here. There's no promises of guarantees or rewards. This is just a basic page that tells you what the actual product does. Unrealistic claims of origin, there's none of those. There's no luxury items being showed. We can check the testimonials. I can go back into different products and start testing these testimonials to make sure they're real. Actually, these look like they're on Facebook, so one thing you could do is search for them on Facebook to see if they're genuine people. And we can look on previous products on the actual Munchai again to find this particular vendor and see if there's any of these turned up on previous products. Because of the type of product this is, I'm not expecting to see anything because there's no kind of financial graphics here that he's going to copy across. There's going to be no real benefit to doing that. So you can see that if you can apply the same logic to these types of products, then you'll start to slim down the ones that are worth actually digging into a little bit more. Now, if I wanted to get more information on this, I could go over and actually look at the JV page and see if I can get any kind of review access on this if I was going to do some kind of review on it. That would be my next step if I wanted to start actually promoting this. And if I wanted to purchase it, it's got a guarantee on it, so I can just go ahead and purchase it, and if I don't like it, return it. So that's the type of sales page you see for the products that are more than likely better on WarriorPlus. And you can use exactly the same logic to go through this checklist to see if there's something that's going to be good for you. And the last thing I wanted to do is show you one of these timers that is actually genuine. So I actually looked at this product. This is a product that is around about graphics, and similar type of thing on this page. It's a service that offers graphics for you, so very, very basic, no real hype on here. So it's another one I'd probably look into a little bit further before I go ahead and decide to purchase or do a review, but it is something that would score favorably if I looked at it against that checklist. Now, one thing I did mention is this actual timer on here, and if I go ahead and actually refresh the page, and what you see there, the timer is real. So I just thought I'd show you that one because not all timers are false, and a lot of them there because it's part of the marketing and it's to make you make a purchase a lot quicker than you usually would. That's the whole idea. So I hope that was useful to you. If it was useful to you, don't forget to give me a like. Again, the idea of this video was to take you through a few tips that I use and a resource that I use to go ahead and look at products and think, are these things that are really going to add value to me and to my business? And you can use that resource completely for free. Go ahead and check out the link in the description below. You can go and grab that today. So I hope that was valuable to you. If it was, don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell, and I'll let you know whenever I release new videos. And until next time, guys, take care.